Coming up next on Red Apple 21, January's edition of Profile takes us to Westmore Elementary School as students, teachers, and administrators tell us about this unique school in Fairfax County. Profile is next on Red Apple 21. Welcome to Profile, Red Apple 21's monthly look at selected schools in Fairfax County. This month we'll pay a visit to Westmore Elementary School in Fairfax City. Westmore is located on Berry Street in Fairfax and has an enrollment of approximately 365 students. Principal Ken Buterbaugh talked to us about the school.
Hi, I'm Ken Buterbaugh, principal of Westmore Elementary School. Welcome to Westmore Elementary School. Westmore is one of those very unique little schools. We have an excellent program because of various things. We have excellent teachers, we have excellent students, and we have excellent parents. With a combination of those things going for us, there's very little that can go wrong. We do a lot of unique things at Westmore too, in that in addition to the basics program with the program of studies for Fairfax County, we are doing, in addition to that, the extensive writing program, the kindergarten through second grade gifted and talented program, and a lot of other things that make the total school program very appropriate for today's age students here in Fairfax County.
Mr. Buterbaugh attributes much of Westmore's success to his excellent staff, teachers who are dedicated to quality education for their students.
The staff here at Westmore is one of those staffs that has been here for a long time. The average longevity at Westmore is 18 years. Now, that's a unique situation. Most people feel that after you've been one place for a while, you need to move on. But that is not the situation here at Westmore. Every one of our staff members here is up every day and dedicated to making every child's day a learning experience.
Westmore Elementary School has a very strong academic program, and much of the emphasis is placed on teaching the basic skills.
Our philosophy of education here at Westmore is pretty much, we want to stick to the basics. We want to emphasize reading, reading, reading in basal approaches, and then to using novels to enrich the kids and get them reading more. Along with that reading, we emphasize a lot of writing and dealing with everyday situations and getting those ideas down on paper.
Starting in the very first year, students are also taught the importance of problem solving and critical thinking. We visited a gifted and talented kindergarten classroom at Westmore and saw how these areas are being emphasized.
I'm Judy Robertson, kindergarten teacher at Westmore Elementary School. I'd like to tell you a little bit about the way our GT program pilot is working. The children are given several lessons that integrate directly with the new kindergarten integrated program that's being implemented in all Fairfax County Public Schools. The GT program at our school gives children at appropriate lesson times an opportunity for critical thinking, abstract thinking, and a higher level of thinking. In the lesson that you saw this morning, the children had previous activities with their math in patterning. However, the object of the lesson, as you noticed, was to give those children an opportunity to create their own patterns. Several children did this quite successfully. Those children who are not quite yet ready for critical thinking and to be a little bit more creative do benefit from our lessons in the GT program. There's something for everyone because the lessons are open-ended. There is no right and wrong, and the children, I think, feel very good about the program.
Westmore is a second-stage pilot school for the county's K-2 GT program, and Mrs. Robertson was involved in its development. She told us how it relates to the regular kindergarten program.
In reference to how it integrates into the program, there are 9 response lessons being implemented in the pilot program. These response lessons correlate directly to the integrated program, which was designed over the past 2 summers with Dr. Dolores Vernon, Fairfax County Office of Curriculum and Special Instruction. It has been my privilege to work on that program and my privilege to work in implementing the GT pilot. A resource teacher does visit our school, and we do monitor the children's progress with a checklist to find out how well they're using their skills in critical thinking and how well they're using their imagination.
The activities integrated into the kindergarten program reflect Westmore's philosophy of education, which stresses problem-solving and creative thinking. Even at this age, the students are being challenged and they are succeeding. Mrs. Robertson introduced us to some of Westmore's kindergartners who told us about some of their favorite things.
Can you tell me what you like best about Westmore School?
Going outside to play.
You like to go outside to play? What's your favorite thing to play outside?
The monkey bars.
What do you like to do on the monkey bars?
Go to different parts of the monkey bars.
Can you play different games? That's great. Thank you very much. This is Jill Cillian. Jill, can you tell me, please, what you like best about Westmore?
I like to play outside.
Do you? What do you like to do inside?
To color.
What's your favorite color?
Orange and green.
2 favorite colors? That's super. Thank you very much.
The older students at Westmore are also encouraged to think creatively as they apply this approach to basic skills activities. When we visited, 5th graders had written their own tall tales and displayed them on the walls of the school.
We created these tall tales as a part of our writing program. Tall tales are tales, of course, that are exaggerated and over the years have grown exaggerated in form. We made them, the length of them exaggerated by making them tall, cut strips of paper into thirds and made them into tall tales, and which was a very good motivational technique. The kids really enjoyed putting them together and making the character look like the person in their story.
The boat ride to Jamestown. In 1606, 144 men and boys set sail to North America. They sailed on 3 small ships, the Susan Constant, Godspeed, and the Discovery. These ships were so small you would barely be able to fit 20 people on one, but since these guys were so skinny, they could fit more. Finally, we left the smelly docks. Why, these docks were so smelly, if you put a skunk there, you wouldn't be able to smell it. At last, we got a breath of fresh air. We were in the middle of nowhere, in other words, the sea. 5 hours later, this huge shark came approaching the Susan Constant. All of us were scared, out of our minds, but me, never. I'm never afraid of sharks. I took my gun and shot that shark clear out of the sky.
The students enjoy using their imagination to create a story.
A tall tale is just a very exaggerated story, and it's really very easy going about making one, just because if you have a good mind for just inventing silly things, it's really easy. Just write them down. Pilgrims. Today we are going to go to a place that is 10,000 miles away. The boat we are taking is 1 mile long and 2 miles wide. There is only 1 leaf of lettuce on board our ship, and there are many people to feed. Everybody on the ship is getting so fat that we do not know what to do.
In writing the tall tales, students were encouraged to do their best and to have fun with the project. There was no right or wrong way to write the story, so everyone took pride in their own creation. We asked Mr. Glofkla about the importance of displaying the stories after they were written.
Oh, for their self-esteem, they feel very proud of their work. In a project like this, they all look good. They're cute in a way. Anybody can be successful with it, and they enjoy reading each other's writing, and As a group, it makes them feel proud. My class did this.
The staff at Westmore encourages students to work as a group on many projects. We saw a group of 6th graders in the library working on a research paper together. Their teacher, Helen Rapson, explained the method she uses to teach students how to write these papers.
Several years ago, when the writing program came out, I had been working with Sidney Lanier, which is where they go to 7th grade, to help improve their research skills for research papers that they do over there. And so what I came up with was a process by which I could take the children for the very first try and walk them through a research paper. And we would pick a topic together, one that they probably would like to do, and then step by step we go through all the thinking and all the research and all the writing together as a class so that they have a model by which they can do a research paper. And then after they do that and they write it up just as a draft and then they write up the final copy, they'll have 2 more to do, one the 3rd grading period and one the 4th grading period, that they have to do on their own. The second one that they do, they get some help from me, but not a great deal, not as much as they did on the walkthrough. And on the last one, they get very little help from me. Hopefully by this time they've put together everything we've done and they can create their own research paper.
As the students progress from the first paper, which is a group effort, to the second, which makes use of writing buddies, to the final paper, which is an independent effort, they gain valuable skills in note-taking, organization, and research methods.
The last one that they do, I check the questions that they want to answer and make sure that they're in a good logical order. And then I check their rough draft with them, but they're not in the classroom writing the rough draft. They're not getting any teacher support while they're writing the rough draft. They're doing very little buddy work when they're writing that particular rough draft. And then we conference about it, and then they write the final copy and hand it in for a grade. So by this time, they've been through the process 3 times. They're pretty confident with it.
These valuable skills can be put to use in language arts as well as many other classes.
Well, they tend to be more organized. They're more willing to take notes and use the notes to write with. In language arts, we stress topic sentences and writing a good paragraph that supports topic sentences. So they're very used to this. And the essay questions that they have on tests are usually better organized because of this. Things that they write for you just like if you write a story, they tend to be better organized because they tend to try and put things in that logical order that they have learned to try and fit into a research paper.
Although the emphasis is on academics at Westmore, teachers still integrate special activities into the lesson to make them come alive. One activity that takes place every year is a Colonial Days display in the cafeteria.
This is a project that Margaret Savage, a 5th grade teacher, has done for a number of years. And the idea behind it is to make colonial living come alive to the kids here at Westmore School. And if you'll notice, they've put an awful lot of work into it, and we have these displays in our hallways and on our cafeteria every fall of the year.
I'm going to tell you how we made these colonial people. The way we made these colonial people is by transparency. Transparency is the white sheet of paper with a colonial dress or suit on it. We laid the transparency down onto an overhead projector and traced it onto a sheet of paper. We painted them, then the next morning we let them dry overnight. The next morning we outlined them with a black marker and cut them out. And then we brought them down here to the cafeteria for everyone to see.
The students in the 5th grade classes prepare for the project by learning about our country's colonial days.
In Mr. Golofka's class, we have been studying pilgrims. We have been studying how they got there, what ship they sailed on, what problems they faced in the first Thanksgiving. We have also been studying people that lived in Jamestown. They were from England. We have also been studying colonists that lived in Roanoke, Maine, New Hampshire, and New England. We have made people to show how life was back then.
After learning about the colonial times, the students prepare to draw the mural which will serve as a background for their colonial counterparts.
and Ms. Lofgren's 5th grade class, we've been making background scenery for the school's Thanksgiving dinner. On these murals, we use the heads of the 5th grade students and the heads of the teachers and staff to involve the whole school community. On the murals, we made colonial times such as cooking, barn raising, and trading with the Indians. Everybody had a part in putting up the scenery, and everybody had a part in making the props for the school's Thanksgiving dinner.
Getting everyone involved is important at Westmore, in academics as well as activities.
In addition to the academics, we do a few other things too, and that's like we have a lot of fun doing them. We try to involve our students in as many things as we can to make them want to come to school. Some of those things are we have a very active PTA, and the cultural activities that they provide for are enjoyed by the students. We have an SCA that is very active also. They meet every month and discuss topics that are pertinent to all of them, and hopefully can come up with some solutions to make our school a little bit better for kids to be there.
We spoke to the president of Westmore's SCA about the organization's goals for the year.
Well, this year we're going to try and encourage people to behave better and to have more safety practices. And we also try to get students to cooperate between each other. We also want to encourage more school spirit and keep up everybody's good work and to keep them so that we can have smart kids and not just these mummies running around the school.
It gives them an opportunity to see how government works. In a democratic form of government, the vote of the majority rules, and we practice that here at Westmore, and they see the operation of the committees, which might be comparable to the president's cabinet. We have representatives from the classroom, which might be comparable to senators and representatives in Congress, and they see it working on their local level.
The SCA gives Westmore students the chance to participate in government, whether they're running for office or voting for class representatives.
In the spring, we notify 5th grade students that the elections will be coming up. I encourage anyone who would like to run for an office to let his or her classmates know so that they can lobby for a nomination. Then each 5th grade classroom nominates 2 students for each of the offices. The students then have a 3-day campaign where they can display posters. They have campaign managers who hand out little pieces of paper with the students' names on them. Then each student gives a campaign speech which is videotaped and presented to the total student body. As soon as all the candidates for president have given their speeches, the students vote. This is given to the students via closed-circuit TV. And the students then vote for president, and the same thing through the rest of the offices. In May, after the election, we hold an installation ceremony, and then the children are ready to take over when we come back in the fall. We then select committees, or decide what committees we're going to have that year. The chairpeople of the committees are chosen from those students who ran for an office earlier in the year and were unsuccessful. Each committee, and we have 11 committees this year, has 5 to 6 students from grades 4, 5, and 6.
When we visited Westmore, an SCA meeting was in session. President Ricky Unser described how a typical meeting progresses.
Well, first I call the meeting to order, and then we say the 2 pledges, the Pledge of Allegiance and the SCA pledge. And then we ask the secretary to read the minutes, and we ask for any additions or corrections. And if there are no additions or corrections, then the minutes stand approved. And then after that, you ask for the treasurer's report, and the treasurer reads the balance of the SCA. And after that, the vice president takes the roll. Then we ask for the committee reports, and then every committee gives their report on what they've done in the past month.
Attendance committee.
Mr. President, my committee will continue to collect the lunch counts and attendance on time and deliver it to the office promptly. Thank you.
Cafeteria committee. Mr. President, the Thanksgiving lunch went very well. Many parents showed up to eat with their children. The tables were set beautifully. There were paper placemats on the tables. Everyone was very good. Thank you.
The SCA keeps the student body well informed by reporting back to the classes after each meeting.
The classroom representatives go back and they tell them the students are aware of what's going on, and a lot of the classroom representatives, they gain knowledge of what it's like to be up here when because they may have a chance to be president or vice president when they're getting to 5th grade or 6th grade.
In addition to keeping the students informed about issues facing the SCA, the organization also tries to provide role models for other students.
Well, they have something to look up to, and they can look forward to becoming part of the SCA if they're too young. And it also helps them know what's going on in the school, because most of the classroom representatives, they tell what went on in the meeting, and so that the students know what's going on in the school.
I think the SCA, here as in any other school, affords a child the opportunity to develop responsibility, to have input into the organization and operation of various school activities, and to work toward the fulfillment of those activities.
Getting students involved is a high priority at Westmore Elementary, and whether it's through the SCA or other organizations, all students are made to feel a part of the school. One particular activity involves every member of the student body and reflects the unique sense of fun at Westmore. The activity, juggling. The participants, everyone in the school. PE teacher Peggy Carlin explains.
Several years ago, a new teacher came to our school, Patty Pierce, and I was amazed that she taught her 4th grade students how to juggle. With a lot of confidence, she led me to believe that I could teach the school. So we started the first unit of juggling without me being able to juggle. I learned with the kids, and I think that that really helped them because they saw me dropping the same as they were dropping me. So then when I did learn, I thought, well, if I can, everybody else can. So we developed units that the younger children could juggle, using the bags, the scarves, the floor juggling. So now we start with kindergarten, with floor juggling. Once they can do that, we say, congratulations, you are a juggler.
Well, the first reason is Miss Carlin here has taught every single last kid in the school to juggle, because every single class comes to her, and she's the only PE teacher. And she knows how to juggle, so I guess she just wants to share what she knows with other kids.
To non-jugglers, it may not look like an easy task, but all students agree that learning to juggle is just a matter of concentration.
Well, the way you have to learn how to juggle is you start off with throwing up one and then catching it, and then you just, after you get that, then you just sort of start with 2 and then just throw them and try to catch them. And then after you pretty well got that, then you just try to start with 3 and throwing them and then catching them, and soon you know how to juggle. Well, you can juggle with any kind of balls, like tennis balls, or scarves, or bags, or bean bags, or rings, or clubs.
So grab your scarves, balls, and rings and get ready for a quick lesson in juggling.
All right, the first step, 4 steps in juggling. First is you have to know that you can only look in the insight zone, and that is from my arm up. Anything below my arm is in the out of sight zone, and we never can look there. So the first test is to be able to throw 1 bean bag up, catch it 20 times without dropping. Once you can do step 1, then step 2 is simply to throw with 1 hand and catch with the other. You have to do this for 20 times. Then, once you do that, you do step 3, which is 1 bean bag in each hand. You go throw, throw, catch, catch. Throw, throw, catch, catch. You make sure, like I will use the white one, This, whichever hand this is in, it must go first. So it's throw, throw, catch, catch. Throw, throw, catch, catch. Now, once I can do this 20 times, then I go to the fourth step, which is juggling. You have to learn to keep one beanbag in the back of your hand and one in the front. This is how you start when you have 3 beanbags. The one in the front of your hand goes first. Once you throw it up, as it's coming down, you want to catch it with this hand. But you can't, there's a beanbag in it. So you give this beanbag a little push and let this one fall in it. As you do, watch the white one. Like I said, I'm just learning with the kids too. When we first started, it was a real school effort because we had none of this. We had a few bean bags like most schools, but Mr. Budabal was very cooperative and supported us. The school provided the material and the beans, and I made the bean bags. Another teacher here in the school made all the scarves. The PTA solicited the local merchants and got a lot of plastic bags donated to us. One of the tennis pro shops donated all of their old tennis balls. And then once the children learned they were an official juggler, they wanted more. So I went back to Mr. Budabal and I said, we need more. And he came through. We were able to buy rings and then clubs. So we are getting a big supply now, although we don't have a large number of the rings and clubs. But the children are able now to take off on their own.
Because everyone at Westmore has juggling as a common interest, students are able to encourage each other as their juggling skills progress.
Well, they help each other. Just the other day I heard one say, what step are you on? And the answer was, I'm on scars. Oh, I just made bean bags today. So they are happy for each other. When we take the test, or when they take the test, and when someone passes and becomes an official juggler, the rest of the class applauds. They're so excited for them. So they support each other.
This support is not only evident in the students' juggling activities, but also occurs in many other ways at Westmore.
I think I would have to say the staff and the manner in which we support each other. Teachers here remain interested in children even after they have passed that particular grade level. And the children are well behaved. We have supportive parents. They're supportive without being overly zealous. The morale of the staff is good, and I think that can be directly attributed to Mr. Budabal because the principal is responsible for all aspects of the program, and I feel the program here at Westmore is excellent.
Well, I think that the staff works together as a unit as opposed to 12 individual people running their own classroom separate from anybody else. We function well together as a unit. We bounce ideas off from one another. My class, for instance, adopted one of the first grade classes, and we go down and help them once a week with their reading and their writing. So we work together that way.
Students as well as teachers feel that cooperation is one of the most positive aspects of the school.
Students cooperate well. We have good teachers. We can, in PE, we can juggle, and most schools don't get to juggle. And that's why I think we're a special school.
The students, teachers, and administrators at Westmore feel that their school is a very special place with many unique characteristics.
What makes Westmore a very unique school is that there is involvement every day from parents, teachers, children, and the administration in making this a comfortable place for kids to come and learn, both academically and socially.
Of course, all the students, that's what makes any school. I think here it's the students and the staff, the administration, the teachers have to feel comfortable with the administration. We have a super administration here. The teachers help each other, just like Minnie helped me with the juggling equipment, with the shows we had to give last year. And anytime I ask anyone, they're always there to help you.
There's lots of nice people here, and we have a nice principal and secretaries. And it really helps to have nice teachers in the school and custodians.
Oh, I think Westmore is the best school in Fairfax County. All the teachers really work together, do special things. We all like to display the children's work. The children are all the schools that I've been in, has been several, are very well behaved, and they are proud of their good work and their good behavior.
The children, I think, are very well behaved. They're very friendly. They're very highly motivated to do well. We get an awful lot of parent support, and in a community where so many parents work, it's really almost unusual to have that much good support when they're tied up with other things.
Westmore Elementary School is a very special school to the students and teachers who call it home. With a strong emphasis on academics, students get the benefit of a good education, and with special programs and activities, they also have a lot of fun while they're learning. We hope you've enjoyed this profile of Westmore Elementary School and some of its special programs. From kindergarten through 6th grade, students are achieving at this Fairfax County school and are proving that good things do come in small packages.